Okay. Make sure this is not in the camera. Okay. So, when it comes to the uncured meats, sugar is so cheap. So it's a really great way to preserve meats. And if it's not fresh meat, it's typically cured in sugar. But because it's such a low amount with some companies, the Food and Drug Administration doesn't have to put it on the label in the nutritional facts that it's there. But if you look at the ingredients, it's there. So you have to look for bacon that says no sugar on the cover of the bacon, or sausage or whatever. If it's chicken, or if some people turkey bacon, it's got to say no sugar, and you have to turn around the back and make sure that there's no sugar in the ingredients on all processed meats.
Have you found any bacon here that hasn't got any sugar in it?
If you go to a butcher that does smoked bacon, they don't cure it in sugar 99% of the time. And people don't think to go and ask for smoked bacon. So I believe they pretty much cure it in salt, and then they smoke it. And then you're good. Yeah. But like the supermarket bacon, no, you're never going to find it. Or you could go to a butcher and get pork belly. And if you get pork belly and have them cut it into bacon strips, then you've got bacon that way, which pork belly is great because it can be from 85 to 95% pure fat, which is what we want. Now, about the oils really quick, before I go to the next slide. Yeah, olive oil, yeah, it oxidizes, goes rancid, pretty much, if you cook with it. You pretty much just use it as a salad. But here's the thing, with all oils, even coconut oil, that's the wrong slide. Even with all oils oxidize, if you cook with animal fat, you'll notice that it smokes less under high heat. Our bodies are very stable. We are animal fat. So when people have this thing like animal fat is bad for you, and I'm like, but you're made out of animal fat. How does that work? We're made out of fat, protein, and water. We're not made out of fat, protein, and potato chips or kale. So you are what you eat. So you have to eat what you are. That's the problem. People keep trying to find ways to not use animal fat. So the oils, yeah, they oxidize very quickly. But here's a caveat. If you have great detoxification pathways, or really great liver, kidney, and gut, in the short term, you can detox out some of those. Now the oxidation from these unstable oils will damage your cells, but if you have a strong system, you can I've had olive oil in my lifetime. People eat out at restaurants. They use canola oil at restaurants. And you can live a full, long life healthy by taking in some oxidized oils that are rancid, if you can methylate. Methylation is sort of a body's way to clean up cells, to detoxify. So yeah, every once in a while, keto's hard. People think I'm strict, but I'm not strict. I'm like the basics. Get rid of the allergenic foods, the cheese, the nuts, the caffeine. Excuse me. Get some sleep. Eat high quality foods. Excuse me. And your body will try to find homeostasis, which means a balance. It will. We're living in a city. Right next to us is a road. Right there is stuff that is oxidizing our cells. The pollution. We can't escape it. So at least try to balance everything. And if you can balance everything, you can keto adapt. And that's what I think, some people are so strict. They're like, but Stephanie, olive oil oxidizes or coconut oil oxidizes. And you're the strict one. And I'm like, I'm not strict. I'm just smart. Use your wisest decision-making power in everything that you do. So, if 12 minutes a day of exercise, excuse me, is better than nothing, then do that. If you have a hard time falling asleep at night, then try every method of relaxation. And no one tries every method of relaxation. I'm going to go into that. But before I was talking about the 5% carbohydrate. So for the US, we use ounces and cups. For you guys, use grams. So to make things simple, a cup is about a handful. This is going to be measured raw, not cooked. So if it's from if your carbohydrates are from the cruciferous family, you're good. And that's where the net carbs come in. So you can steam or saute or even eat raw if you have no thyroid problem and gut problem. Not raw daily, but like salads and whatnot. As long as you're in the cruciferous family. So if you saute or steam your fruits, don't steam or saute that much. Leave a little crunch left so you can count the fiber minus the total number, the net carbs. 5 grams, 1 teaspoon. And I've explained before, that's how much carbohydrate that your body can handle without a problem, without the pancreas overworking to shoot out insulin. So if you're shooting out too much insulin, you're never going to lose any weight. It's not going to happen. Store fat. Insulin, store fat. High blood sugar, insulin, store fat. And that's why we use the glucometer and we journal. That's why I'm so like, get your glucose in a ketogenic range, because people are like, I'm not losing weight, I'm gaining weight. And I'm like, your blood sugar is too high. Well, my fasted blood sugar is great. I'm like, what is it all day long? I don't know, I never checked. Okay, we'll check. At least twice a week. Okay, so we've talked about the cruciferous family already. So as you guys can see here, the list of the cruciferous family, where you can count. Well, now, when we get into coconut milk and coconut meat, now my friend and I put this together, and I'm starting to see how things should be taken out. So, because it's considered carbohydrate, but I really want people to be careful with the coconut milk. There's not enough fiber in it. And in that water is the sugar. So if you use coconut milk, use a glucometer to test to see if it spikes your blood sugar, because with a lot of people it does. With me, it does not. I can take tons of coconut milk, and I mean from a can, not the carton, because that's just carrageenans, which is a thickener and whatever, not real coconut milk. I can also eat coconut meat. High in fiber, but it's high in carbs. So these are all considered types of carbohydrates. Also ketchup and stuff like that is considered a carbohydrate. Basically, everything's considered a carbohydrate except for pure fat. Pure fat has 0 carbohydrate. Meat has carbohydrates in it, vegetables, but not pure fat. But in meat, it's like, 0.2, 0.3 grams of carbohydrate.
Coconut cream's okay too, isn't it? Pure coconut cream.
Well, that's coconut milk. And it's not with a lot of people. It can spike their blood sugar.
Yeah, I tested it and I was okay.
So it just depends on the individual. You're good. Next person may not be good. I'm good. So again, we've spoken about the bacon, the processed meats, but also the cucumber, the tomatoes. Chewing gum, big one. It's got sugar alcohols.
Sugar-free.
It's got sugar. It's made from sugar alcohols. It's low sugar, it's still sugar. So they just lie to us. And that chewing gum can spike your blood sugar. So no xylitol, no maltitol, no tatols.
Do you have what can happen instead of chewing gum?
What was that?
What can happen instead of chewing gum?
Nothing. Chewing gum is really a pacification, and for people who skip meals, I was a chewing gum addict. Like, I had to go to rehab. Just kidding. But I was a chewing gum addict. I never thought I could stop. But once you stop, you don't eat sugar. If you have a good gut, your breath doesn't smell. You won't need mints or chewing gum anymore because you don't have all that bacteria in your saliva and in your mouth from the carbohydrates. So I was seriously a chewing gum addict until about, 8 years ago.
So bad breath equal bad gut health?
Yeah, that's where, people use chewing gum to mask bad breath. So that's coming from your gut, or that's coming from a lot of bacteria in the mouth, or candida. So if you're in ketosis, then you should be fine.
What about carrots?
Carrots are high in carbs,
Yeah.
so they're a big no-no. Carrots would be on the low-carb, high-fat family, but not keto.
There's a product here that I've been using and I've been okay with it, and it's Natbia. Have you got that in the States?
What is it from?
So it's stevia based.
Mm?
But it's got, I'm pretty sure it's erythritol that's in it. It's erythritol and stevia. And that doesn't spike. Because that's what a lot of the type 1s following Bernstein are
Type
using.
1's Dr. Bernstein, has nothing to do with keto. You may not be using viable ketones.
Yeah.
It may not spike your blood sugar, but it can prevent ketones from being uptaken. So you've got to look at both sides of the blood values.
Yeah.
So, the no food list, protein shakes, broken down protein. If you're not digesting things fully, it can spike your blood sugar. We are meant to chew, so no juices, no smoothies. We are designed to chew our food. I don't know where people got in that eating a smoothie is healthy.
It's quick and easy.
That's right, it's quick and easy. But you need these digestive enzymes and peptides and stomach acid, the chloric acids to break down food. It's a whole process. Stomach acids are important because they're a firewall to protect you against bacteria and things like candida. Everybody here knows what candida is. It's a fungal infection, like the mold in your bathroom. That can happen in your gut.
In
Yeah.
women, it usually comes out in thrush after antibiotics and all that kind of thing. Sorry,
That's right.
Male in the room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in everyone. I have no shame. Your vagina, your bunghole, your intestinal tract, between your fingernails, your scalp, dandruff is a fungal overgrowth. Skin, you name it, it's everywhere, and we all have it. So that's why I'm like, if you're going to have sugar alcohols, if you're going to have tea, be careful with the tea bags, vinegar, mushrooms. That's why I'm like, do apple cider vinegar. Plus, they're made out of white wine and rice vinegar. That can spike your blood sugar, and it can make the candida grow. Coffee beans have mycotoxins. That makes the candida grow like crazy and keep you craving sugar. Let's see. Decaffeinated coffee, they use benzoyl chloride to strip out. It's a really toxic chemical to strip out the caffeine. That's why I don't like decaf coffee or teas. No caffeinated teas. Be careful for the packaged foods, canned foods, the chewing gum, the sugar alcohols, kimchi and kombucha and matcha tea. The matcha tea, too many carbs, kombucha and kimchi off too many carbs. Plus, if you have gut dysbiosis, the bacteria on these fermented foods can make your candida grow. And that's a whole other subject about trying to get rid of candida or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. You can't just run and grab any probiotic, because your body may not react well off of a particular bacterial strain of a probiotic. it can actually make your gut infection get worse. So you always start with less strains of probiotic and a less culture count. So you start, some people are like, I do 400 billion. I'm like, no. Start with 5 or 10 billion and work your way up and see if you have a reaction, which would be bloating, or your candida will get worse in some instances. Why people eat cheese, I don't know, because just on a mycotox, forget about the casein. There's casein in cheese. Now, I've said this before, I don't know what weirdo decided to put his mouth under a cow's nipple and drink from it, okay? Because we are not supposed to be drinking from a cow. This is designed to take a little tiny 75-pound calf and grow it into a 2,000-pound bull. So a little calf into a big bull. That's what the milk, the protein in the milk is supposed to grow. So you got IGF-1, cancer, women who've got fibroids, it makes shite grow. Casein, cheese has a lot of casein. So it's one of the 2 proteins. Everybody who eats a lot of cheese, when I check their symptoms and their blood values, they don't adapt. So all these people on the internet thinking that are adapting on cheese, you're not. Alcohol also works like hyper sugar. It's got ethanol in it, and it spikes your blood sugar real high. That's why alcoholics love sugar once they stop drinking, because it'll spike their blood sugar and it'll give them that same sort of high. Soy is very estrogenic, and men, it's a problem. Women can regulate their estrogen, even though we're all estrogen dominant, all of us in this room, including me. I'm just less estrogen dominant. Men, it's a nightmare. So a lot of men have low testosterone, and it's towards like the plastic bottles, plastic bottles that are non-BPA, water. Blood sugar dysregulation will lower men's testosterone, raises estrogen. So branched chain amino acids, you do not need. These are reparative proteins that people take, bodybuilders take them. You don't need them on keto. Quest bars, no, even though they're low in carbohydrates, no protein shakes, because when it's in powdered form, it can spike your blood sugar. Too much protein that's not used will spike your blood sugar and prevent you from keto adapting. This is where the bodybuilder community has it completely wrong. Food is meant to be chewed and digested. If it's not chewed and digested, it's a potential to raise your blood sugar. Yeah.
Is it better than not eating at all, but?
What was that?
Is it better than not eating at all to have something like that rather than not eating?
Is it better to have like a pea protein shake rather than no protein at all?
Like not having time to eat altogether.
Time?
Yeah.
We all can make time.
I'm struggling with that one.
You're struggling with it. We all have time. We all have time. If you can go to the bathroom and take a shower.
I'm struggling with as well.
You can take a shower, yeah, of course we can make time. It's pre-prepping your food. So I'll pre-prep my foods 2, sometimes 3 times a week, so I just have it. Even here when I'm staying at a Airbnb, I prep my food, so I don't have to make it fresh every day.